Yeah, yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. Pulled me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Superfan K here. I hope everybody out there is enjoying their Saturday. I know I have so far. Today, on today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing Central Intelligence. It's the new buddy cop action comedy slash something. Directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, I believe. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart. This movie basically is about these two people in high school. Played Kevin Hart, he plays this really cool kid in high school. The Rock, he plays like this loser. He was a fat kid. He got picked on, he got messed with, and something happens to him in high school, and Kevin Hart's character, who plays this guy named Calvin, looks out for him. 20 years later, surprise, surprise, The Rock is in the CIA, and Kevin Hart's character, he is an accountant, and Kevin Hart and him meet up. They catch up on old shit, and then Kevin Hart basically gets drawn into this big conspiracy CIA shit. And because The Rock is with Kevin Hart, now they're after Kevin Hart too, and they kind of have to work together to get to the bottom of the mystery of who or what or why is chasing them and why, you know, mission, spy movie. That's basically all you need to know. How was it? Let's talk about it, guys. This movie had some really great chemistry between two really charismatic people. Kevin Hart, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. These guys are what makes this movie good. They pretty much carry this movie on the weight of their charismatic backs. They fit well together. They look like they're having a lot of fun together. What I liked about their characters in this movie is that Kevin Hart isn't playing the usual Kevin Hart. You know, he's usually in his movies, some of his humor comes off as forced because he has to be the funny guy, he has to be the loud guy, he has to start screaming and going a whole bunch of Kevin Hart, he usually plays that type of character, the overbearing funny guy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he's, you know, all tough and machismo and testosterone and one-liners, action-heavy guy. I'm gonna hit you so hard, you're gonna wish your mama had kept her legs closed. They're not playing those characters. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because of the trauma that he endured in high school, he got picked on, like I said, he was bullied. That affects him. Like, he's grown up, he's become this big badass CIA agent. He still acts like a big kid. He never really had any friends. This guy Calvin, played by Kevin Hart, he's like the only guy who never made fun of him and who tried to help him. You've probably seen it in the trailer where, you know, he gets embarrassed in front of the whole school. He's pretty much butt-ass naked in front of the whole school. I'm gonna just level with you guys since you guys saw that shot in the trailer. Remember when those guys grabbed the big guy and threw him out in front of everybody? Doesn't that mean we should really be making fun of the people who grabbed him? Because that means that they touched dick, balls, and ass. That's right, they put their hands on a naked man's body. Take with that what you will. Kevin Hart, again, Kevin Hart is not playing the usual type. I mean, yeah, he does have his Kevin Hart-isms, and he does scream, and he does yell, and all of that shit. But he's kind of the normal guy. He's kind of just a regular guy. He's not really overbearing. He doesn't try to force the humor. A conspiracy, and it's kind of like, who can you trust and all that stuff. The humor comes from that, from him being a fish out of water, regular guy dealing with this. Of course, he's kind of the straight man to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being the overbearing, funny guy. Really likable. They both really work together. That's all I'm saying. The movie has a couple of cool shootouts. It has a couple of cool action scenes. For anybody who was bullied or who suffered through some of that, I get it. This movie has a pretty good message about bullying, I gotta say. It's got a positive message about bullying. So I like that message, and again, the chemistry of The Rock and Kevin Hart. That's what sells you on this movie. Outtakes in this movie. Fucking hilarious. They look like they had a blast doing this. And it honestly makes you wish that they were in more shit together, honestly. That's what it made me wish for. Having said that, they carry this movie because the rest of the movie is just a really big sloppy mess of blah. The story is generic, it's cliched, it's predictable, and they try to throw a couple of huge twists at you, but it just gets really complicated and like overly messy for no reason at all. At the end of the movie, I was just kind of getting confused. I was like, wait, what? How did that? Okay, was that just a twist just to have a twist? How the script just collapses under its own incomprehensibility, which I'm not even 100% sure is a word. It's a word for this review. You could give a shit about. The story is not very well crafted. Again, it's cliched. It's the generic story of spy generic shit with spy action thriller generic city of genericness. There's also a cameo towards the end that feels a little bit tacked on, like towards the end after they've saved the day and everything's kumbaya. There's a cameo at the end that I was just kind of like, okay, did that really need to be there, or was that just kind of added on too? Throw the word, there's this code word for some kind of person who wants these satellite codes in the movie named Black Badger. You're going to hear the words Black Badger so many times in this movie, you should just start taking shots for every time you hear it. I guarantee you're going to be white girl wasted by the time the movie's done. This movie is a decent flick. It's carried by the chemistry of its stars, but it's not a great movie. I did have fun with it. I did enjoy it, and I don't think it's as bad as what I thought it was going to be going in. I'm going to give it the rating Man of Steel. That is my review for Central Intelligence. Go check it out. It's a good weekend to go to the movies, guys. Finding Dory, I have a review up for that. Go check that out as well. Thank you to anybody who watches my videos. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel. Stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.